We're shooting and dodging, jumping and ducking. That's right, it's Cuphead, the fast-rolling dice game from the Op. In this cup-based co-op cartoon caper, 1 to 4 players take on the role of dishware denizens on a quest to save their souls from the devil. Over the course of numerous games, players will finger gun shoot their way through a series of 8 powerful bosses in an attempt to pay their debt and win the game. Setup begins with character selection. Players choose one of the 4 characters: Cuphead, Mugman, Ms. Chalice, or Elder Kettle. They take the corresponding player board, 6 action dice, 5 white and 1 black, and 3 health tokens, which they will place on the HP slots of their board. Place the boss board center and shuffle the wallop cards. Create a face-down deck next to the indicated space. Create a communal supply for the parry, time, and coin tokens. Next, it's time to set up the boss deck. For your first game of Cuphead, pull the box labeled Boss Deck 1. Each game of Cuphead pits the players against one fearsome boss. If they can defeat the Root Pack, they're allowed to move on to Boss Deck 2 in the next game. They can also refight this boss as well. More on that later. Take the Boss Deck cards and remove the cards. Don't shuffle them. Hey, look at me. Do not shuffle. Okay, good. Set the deck on the table near the boss board and flip the cover card face up. The first boss deck contains a listing of cards in case you somehow shuffled the deck after I specifically told you not to. But you wouldn't have done that, would you? Future boss decks may introduce new rules and play patterns to the game, but we're not going to reveal all those here, because spoilers. Beat the first boss and you'll see for yourself what's in store. Take the boss character card off the deck and place it in the standee. Each boss character card has 4 different starting health values, each corresponding to the number of players in your game. We're setting up for a 4-player game, so we'll take the boss health dial and set it to 12, placing it near the boss board. Gather the attack cards from the top of the deck and stop when you reach the very clear text that says stop. This is a king dice card. Set the deck aside for now. Take the attack cards. In the beginning of a game, these are the Phase 1 attack cards, and give them a shuffle. It's alright, you can. Then create a face-down deck to the left of the boss board. Finally, as a group, players decide the time limit for their rounds: 10, 15, or 20 seconds. Shorter time limits award bonus points when calculating the group's final grade after they knock out a boss. We'll talk more about grades in the end game. You can use the companion app as your timer with a link to that in the rulebook, or you can use your own timer or clock. Gameplay occurs in rounds, each divided into 5 steps. Reveal the attack cards, set and start round timer, roll and assign dice, resolve boss attack cards, and clear attack cards. First, in the reveal the attack card step, reveal the top 3 attack cards from the boss deck and set them in the leftmost spaces on the boss board. If at least one of these was a wallop image, reveal a 4th card into the final space. Each attack card has 1 or 2 icons which match various faces on the player's dice. These cards each attack the players for 1 damage. However, the players can roll dice to dodge these attacks in the following steps. Next, in the set and start round timer step, players use the app to set the timer to their allotted setting. This set time has to be used for the entire boss deck. As soon as the timer starts, the roll and assign dice step begins. Players roll their dice simultaneously. After rolling, the player may assign any dice they choose to their player board. Each pair of spaces corresponds to an attack card on the boss board. A player can re-roll their dice an unlimited number of times, rolling all dice not yet assigned to their player board. Some rules on assigning dice. They must always be assigned left to right, only choosing to optionally skip a space if the attack card has only 1 symbol. Once a die is assigned, it cannot be changed. Players can assign as many dice as they wish after a roll. They must roll all unassigned dice when they re-roll. They can't pick and choose. A player can also choose to skip a card. If they do, they won't defend against this attack card this round, but this may be advantageous depending on the circumstances. When assigning dice to an attack card with only one symbol, a player may optionally choose to add a shoot icon to the additional space on their player board. This is the main way to attack back at the bosses and will deal 1 point of damage in the next step. The shoot will only resolve if the attack card was successfully dodged by that player. If the shoot icon comes from the black X die, the player's special attack can be triggered. In the beginning of the game, the starting pea shooter weapon deals 2 damage on an X die shoot. Bigger and badder weapons will become available later in the game. When the timer ends, players can assign dice from their final roll. Next, players resolve boss attack cards from left to right, making sure to check each player's result before moving on to the next attack card. If players assigned the correct dice, they dodge the attack and take no damage. If they skipped the card or assigned incorrect dice, they take 1 damage from the card, removing a health token from their board. In the case where a player also assigned a shoot die to a 1-icon attack card and they successfully dodged, the boss takes 1 damage tracked on the boss health dial. Wallops actually deal no damage and don't require dice to be spent to dodge them. Players can skip those when assigning if they wish. However, assigning a diamond icon to the wallop attack card allows a player to draw a wallop card when the attack resolves. Wallop cards are one-time use cards with bonus die faces and can be used immediately or saved for future rounds. The parry icon is an opportunity for the players. If they can assign a parry die face and successfully dodge, they'll gain a parry token, up to a max of 3. Players can spend parry tokens to prevent another player from being knocked out if they lose all their HP. More on that in a sec. After all of the attack cards have been resolved, if the boss still has health, the clear attack card step occurs. All the attack cards are moved to a discard pile. Then, players start over with a new round, beginning with the reveal attack card step. If the draw pile is empty, the discard is shuffled back into a new draw deck, and if this occurs, players must take a time token, which counts against their final grade at the end of the fight. Play continues with players rolling dice and assigning them to boss attacks. If a player ever loses all their health tokens, they discard all parry tokens from their board. A teammate may then discard one of their parry tokens, if they have one, to bring that player back into the fight with 1 health. They can roll again starting on the next dice roll phase. However, if a player loses all of their health and no one can revive them with a parry token, the game is over and the players lose. But if they can reduce the boss's health to 0, the boss's phase is defeated. Immediately set aside that boss card and all of the phase's attack cards. Any remaining unresolved attack cards are ignored and the next phase can begin. Remove the King Dice Stop card, place the new boss card and set its health dial. Gather the phase's boss attack cards and shuffle them into a new deck. Begin with the new reveal attack card step. Players don't refill their health between phases, but do get to keep parry tokens and wallop cards. If the players complete enough phases in the deck, they'll reach a knockout card. This means they've won the fight and defeated the boss. They then gain the coins listed on that card, which they can use to purchase upgrade cards from Pork Rind's Emporium. Upgrade cards include weapons, charms, and eventually, super arts. Any unpurchased cards will be set aside and can be purchased after future fights. Players can equip one of each type before a boss fight, and weapons fill the player's pea shooter space. The game also features some special super art cards located in sealed envelopes, which players may open if they achieve the requirements listed on the envelope. Finally, players determine their grade. Using the scoring tool in the companion app or the handy chart on the back of the rulebook, players gain 10 points for each remaining health token, 5 points for each parry token, 5 points for unused wallop cards, minus 10 points for each time token, and bonuses for timer settings, plus 10 for 15 seconds and plus 20 for 10 seconds. Players determine their score against the grade chart on the back of the rules. They can then save the result on these save sheets. In future fights, they can fight the next boss in the sequence if they defeated the current boss, or they can refight a previously defeated boss. When refighting, they will only gain 1 coin per player during the knockout resolution. And that's the basics of Cuphead, the fast dice rolling game. I'm Becca Scott. This is Good Time Society, and you, my friend, are appreciated. If you want to help us out, you can give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and next time, bring your friends. We'll see you later.